Welcome to Western Water Weekly, your source for updates on water, drought, and policy developments across the West. Here are the top water stories from the past week. Let's kick things off with a groundbreaking study published in Nature Communications' Earth and Environment. Scientists have turned our understanding of snowmelt upside down. We used to think that snowmelt flowed straight into rivers each spring, but this new research shows that's far from the whole story. Using tritium, a hydrogen isotope left over from 1950s nuclear testing, researchers discovered that much of what we think is new runoff actually comes from water that's been underground for years. On average, 5.7 years for snowmelt runoff and over 10 years for base groundwater. This matters a lot for the Colorado River Basin. Current forecasting models rely on the outdated idea of an annual use-it-or-lose-it snow cycle. But as the study puts it, snowmelt runoff is the result of multiple prior years of climate mediated by groundwater storage. That means it's time for a big upgrade in how we model water flow, especially in dry years. Next up, the Bureau of Reclamation's latest 24-month study brings a cautiously optimistic update. Lake Mead rose slightly to 1,073.38 feet as of May 1st, still just 37% full, but progress nonetheless. Lake Powell is holding about 40% of its total capacity, thanks to runoff and strategic releases. The entire Colorado River system is now at 47% capacity. That's better than recent years, but with overallocation and long-term drought, there's still a long way to go. The Bureau says it will continue monitoring inflows and release volumes conservatively throughout the water year. So, don't expect dramatic changes anytime soon. In Nevada, the city of Henderson is proposing a new utilities and drainage project near East Lake Mead Parkway. The Bureau of Reclamation released a draft environmental assessment this week. If approved, the plan would install sewer, potable water lines, stormwater systems, and trail segments. The public comment window is open until June 4, 2025, so now's the time to weigh in. In national news, a big legal shift is brewing under the Endangered Species Act. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and National Marine Fisheries Service are proposing to eliminate the definition of harm that includes habitat destruction. Supporters like the Klamath Irrigation District say the current rule is overly broad and punishes farmers unfairly. Critics, including the Southern Environmental Law Center, warn that gutting habitat protections could spell disaster for endangered species. Public comments are due by May 19th, and this is one proposal that's sure to stir debate. On Wednesday, the NRDC and several waterkeeper groups filed a legal petition urging the Bureau of Reclamation to enforce existing laws that prohibit wasteful water use. Their claim? That states like California, Arizona, and Nevada are squandering Colorado River water on things like ornamental turf and outdated cooling systems. They're not asking for new laws, just that existing ones be enforced. With drought tightening its grip, they argue that every drop must count. In a late-night move Wednesday, House Republicans advanced an amendment that would open tens of thousands of acres of public land in Nevada and Utah for sale, framed as a solution to housing shortages. But critics like the NRDC and the National Wildlife Federation call it a lose-lose for nature and taxpayers. They warn the measure bypasses public process and could permanently fragment watersheds and strip away environmental protections. In stark contrast, Representative Ryan Zinke, a Republican from Montana and former Interior Secretary under Trump's first term, launched a bipartisan public lands caucus this week with Democrat Gabe Vasquez of New Mexico. Their goal? To protect access, conservation, and recreation on public lands, pushing back against privatization. Groups like Trout Unlimited and Ducks Unlimited are lining up in support. Zinke put it simply, public lands aren't red or blue, they're red, white, and blue. Finally, this week's drought monitor shows a mixed bag for the Colorado River Basin. April rains helped Arizona and parts of Utah, but over two-thirds of the basin is still under some form of drought. Wyoming and New Mexico are split. Some regions got relief, others worsened. And California and Nevada? No change as the dry season begins. The Climate Prediction Center forecasts cooler, wetter conditions through mid-May. That wraps up this week's news. For daily updates and in-depth reporting, visit westernwater.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay informed and engaged. See you next week.